Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Thank you for the sister who made the sharing today. Thank you very much. Today we'll go to a new sutta. This is Sutta number 7, Ajakalapa Sutta. So Ajakalapa Sutta is a sutta demon called Ajakalapa. This Ajakalapa used to, there are a few meanings about this. He used to take the goats as for his, because people used to sacrifice goats to him, and he used to take them in groups. So he was called Ajakalapa. And there are a few other definitions also. Buddha has approached this Yaka and tamed him. So this is the very short story. And then today also I'm going to do the number 9 Sutta, Jatila Sutta, not the number 8. Number 8 I'll reserve for the next lesson. And number 9 is Jatila Sutta. It's also a very short sutta. In that Jatila Sutta, Buddha explains about sees some ascetic of the life through by dipping in water of the river Ganges. So who is any volunteer? I was thinking is it okay if I call upon some names in the participants list so everyone can translate? Hope it will be okay. How about Venerable Dhammadatta? Okay.
Okay, Bhante, I will try, Bhante.
Okay, thank you very much. The first paragraph also. Yeah, it's only one paragraph. Okay.
Yes. Ajakalapaka suttam. Evam me suttam ekang samayang bhagava pavayang viharati ajakalape chetiyang ajakalapakasa yakhasa bhavane. Thus I have heard. At one time, the Blessed One was dwelling near Pava, near the flock of goat shrine, at the dwelling place of Ajapalaka Yakha. Is it okay, Bhante?
Give me 1 minute, because there is a very sound in my background. Just I need to close the window. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay, Bhante.
Hello. I couldn't hear you loudly. Can you please repeat? Sorry for that.
Okay, Bhante. Evam me sutang ekang samayang bhagava pavayang viharati ajapala ke chetiye ajakala pakasa yakhasa bhavane. Thus I have heard. Ekang samayang, at that time, the Blessed One was dwelling near Pava, near the flock of goat Chetia, the goat shrine, at the dwelling place of Ajakala Kalapa, at the dwelling place of Ajakalapas Yakha.
Okay. Yeah. So the shrine is also called Ajakalapa, right? Ajakalapa shrine, near the Ajakalapa shrine, and in the mention of the Yakka Ajakalapa, demon Ajakalapa. Yes. Okay. Ekan Samayang we can translate in one time. It's better to say rather than saying that one at that time. It's better to say at one time.
Tenako pana samayena bhagava.
Okay, please continue also.
In the beginning or continue?
Continue, please.
Okay. Tenako pana samayena bhagava ratanda karating timin sayang abosake nisinno hoti devocha ekang pasuyati. At that time, the blessed one was sitting in the open air in the darkness of night, and God was raining gently. Devocha ekang pusayati. The God was raining.
Devo means the rain, actually.
Rain, Bhante?
Devo means rain. Yeah, rain. It was raining or drizzling.
It was raining gently. Athako aja kala pakho yakho bhagavato bhayang chambitatang lo mahangsang upade tukkamo yena bhagava tenupasankami. Athako ajapalo yakho. Then the ajapalako yakha approached the Blessed One with the desire to give fear, terror, goosebump to the Blessed One.
To arouse. Better to say arouse. Arouse fear, goosebumps, and
fear, goosebump to the Blessed One. Upasankamidva bhagavato abhidure thita khatum akulo pakulo ti akula pakulikang akasi. Having approached not far from Blessed One, he 3 times said akula pakula. Esote samana pisachoti. Ascetic, this is a demon. Athako bhagava etamatang vididvatayang velayang imang udanesi. Then the Blessed One, having understand the meaning of it, uttered the utterance.
So. Thank you very much also. Well done.
Yeah.
Nicely translated. Thank you very much. I think everyone got the meaning. I hope others also could translate like this. So the first sentence is very clear. Ekan samayam bhagava pavayang viharati niyam pava ajapalake cheti ajapalakasya yakkasa bhavane. So ajapalaka chetiya was it was maybe the ajapalaka's mansion was inside the chetiya or above the chetiya. So we can translate it as in the shrine of Ajapalaka or near the shrine of Ajapalaka. Then Ajakalapa, not Ajakalapa, near the shrine or in the shrine of Ajakalapa. Then in the mansion, inside the mansion of the Yakka Ajakalapa. Tena kopana samena bhagava rattandakar timisayang abbokasi nisinno hoti. So here also we can see the verb is in a past participle. Nisinno hoti is the verb. Right. Actually, the verb is hoti. Nisinno is a noun, but just hoti doesn't give the meaning. So nisinno hoti we can consider as a connectedly it is functioning as a verb. So this is a past participle. Was sitting, right? Was sitting. So here we can say he was sitting. Where does he sit? What is the location of sitting? Abbokase, in the open space. Then also Rattandakara Timisaya, he was in the darkness. So it was also written in location in the darkness. So it is not a specific location. Darkness is not a location. Conventionally, we can say he was in the darkness. So here Ratti and so here the word formation is Ratti plus Andhakara Timisa. Yeah. Right. Right? This is a samasa word. Andakara and timisayang is locative case, right? So it's better to say andakara timisa. This is the word, and this was written in locative case. So timisa is also darkness, andakara is also darkness, rati is the night, the darkness of the night. So this darkness was very, very, no one could see anything with the eyes. It was such a very strong, deep darkness. So the Blessed One was sitting. So here in the first sentence, we say he was in the mansion, then he is outside the, in the open space. The commentary states that first the Blessed One was living inside the Yakka's mansion, and then when the Yakka was making lots of troubles, like actually Yakka wanted to send the Buddha out of the mansion to send him away, but he was quite stable. He was not afraid of all his what he did. Then the Buddha thought this Yakka is very angry about me staying inside the mansion, so this could harm him. This anger could harm him. So therefore, to reduce his anger, the Buddha went outside and sat. So that's why in the sutta, the two sentences, in the first sentence, the Buddha was sitting inside the mansion. Then suddenly he's outside in an open space. So Buddha has shifted from inside to the outside. Then devocha ekamekam pusayati. This is also another important point to analyze. Here devo means rain. It's not the deities. Rain. Right? Devo is rain. Ekam pusayati, ekang. So ekam. Actually, ekam can be written as a one word, right? Because it's in some books it is explained as a sandhi. Ekam, right? Sometimes you can say it as ekang also. In some books they say it's a one kind of a formation. Ekameko. So likewise, a ma is inserted. Here you can say it as ekang, nigahita change into ma. In some cases, this was mentioned because sometimes we come ekameko, like in a nominative case also you can find it. So in such cases, ma is inserted as a form of connecting the two words. So however it is, here pusayati means devo pusa, ekamekam pusayati means we're drizzling, just one drop at a time, like few drops were falling from the sky. It was not a heavy rain. It was during the night, mostly at the close to the dawn. Then atako ajapalako yakko bhagavato bayang chambitattang lomahansang upadetu kamo yena bhagava tenupasanka. You can see here we have the verb. Then there is no gerund here. There is no infinitive. There is no participle. But we have a noun ending with the nominative case. So we also know that when the word is ending in nominative case, we either need to put utva or samano. Here we have to say utva. So upadetu kamo means this word is it should be defined as upadetung kamo. Upadetung kamo become upadetu kamo. It's a dative samasa, tapuri samasa. Upadetung kamo. One who is desirous to arouse. Upadetung is arouse. Upajati is arise. Right? Upajitung, to arise. Upadetu means it's a causative verb. So to arouse, not to arise, arouse. So he wanted to arouse what? Bayang, the fear. Chambitattang is the stiffness of the body. When you become fear, the body becomes stiff. Sometimes it is translated as paralyzed. So the legs and the body, the chest become like stiff. So chambitatta. Lomahansan is goosebumps. Like the hair becomes straight. So he wanted to arouse these fear and effects of fear So the Chambitattang and Lomahansa are the effects of fear. Bayang is the fear, the mental quality, mental state. So he wanted to arouse all these fear and things related to fear, and he approached the Buddha. So here we can see Chambitattang, Lomahanso, and Bayang are connected to Upadetu Kamo. He was desirous to arouse these qualities. Actually, if you divide the word Upadetu Kamo into Upadetung Kamo, it's directly connected with the Upadetu, and he was desirous to do this. So when you make the samasa, it's a one word. So this whole word is connected with Bayang, Chambitattang, and Lomahansa. Then Yena Bhagava Tena Upasankami, he approached where the Buddha was. Then Upasankamitva, starting with the Jaran, Bhagavato Avidure Tikkatung Akkulo Pakkuloti Akkula Pakkulang Akasi. So Upasankamita, having approach. Bhagavato Avidure. So when you say Avidure, close by, it's located in a close location to the Buddha, Bhagavato. So this is another new rule, grammatical rule I want to share. When we want to say the vicinity or above something, vicinity, above, around, in all these cases, we have to use the genitive case. It means now around, sorry, close by, around, around, above. So close by is Avidura, Samipa, Avidura. Around is Samanta. Above is Upari. So when we connect these words, right, we have to use the noun should be in genitive case. For example, Kamassa Samipe Bhagavato Avidure. Avidure is not very far. So normally Gamasa Samipe Rukkang Hoti, for instance. There is a tree, Rukko Hoti. There is a tree near the village. Bhagavato Avidure Yakko Nisidati. The Yaka sits near to the Buddha. Then Gamasa Samanta Vanang Hoti. So Samanta is indeclinable here. So there is a forest surrounding the village, right? Samanta is surrounding or around the village, surrounding the village. Pabbatassa Upari Rukko Bhavati. So here there is a above, there is a tree upon above, upon or above, upon the rock, right? Upon the rock. So these are the this is another rule that we have to keep in mind. These words Samipa, Avidura, Samanta, Pari, they are written when they are connected. The noun should be written in genitive case, not them. The noun here, the noun is Gamasa Samipe, Bhagavato Avidure, Gamasa Samanta, Pabbatasa Upari. They are written in genitive case. I hope it's clear. If you have any questions. Okay, let's to the Buddha. Tikkatung. Tikkatung is 3 times. Akkulo Pakkulati Akkula Pakkulakang Akasi. He made the sound as Akkula Pakkula. It's a very strange sound, but somehow the commentary says he was uttering this sound. And this just a sound. In one explanation is just a sound, akula pakula. Then one explanation is this shows akula shows the ones who were born like jalabuja beings, like the ones who are born out of the mother's womb. Pakula means the ones who are born out of the eggs. Actually, according to them, it's bakula. Instead of pa, it's ba. So the second explanation, akula pakula, is because akula bakula. Then akula bakula with the KH. So according to them, it's explaining about the ones who are against the humans, like ones who are disastrous to humans, ones who would eat the humans. So the idea was, according to the first explanation, the Yakka was making just a sound to make the Buddha afraid. The second meaning is he wanted to explain that I am a being like all these snakes and lions who would kill the humans. So I have approached you. So he wanted to say that I'm one of them who would eat or kill the humans. So the second meaning, second meaning also says that I am also one of them who would eat humans. So, but normally we can go with the first explanation. He just made a sound called akula and pakula. So tikkatung, we first explain about the tikkatung. Tikkatung is it's also a common word. This suffix, tikkatung suffix. Right. So ukkatung. So ukkatung means connect this with any, for example, dvi is 2 and plus kattung dikkattung. Dikkattung means T is 3 plus kattung ends up as dikkattung. We say pancha plus kattung equal to pancha kattung 5 times. So you can see this in Patimukka especially. Kattung, it refers to the times. How many times? So he said akula pakula 3 times. That's what it means. He said akula pakula 3 times, having approached the Buddha. So then Bhagavata Arjuna tikkattung 3 times akula pakula kang akasi. So the akula pakula means, this normally we say is anukarana sabda. Anukarana sabda means, so here it's written grammatically, it's written, just the word is written, the sound is written, it has no specific meaning. So if you look into the Kasi Bharadwaja Sutta, when the Buddha refused to eat the meal offered by the Brahmin after preaching Dhamma, he asked that the Brahmin to put that into water where there is no beans. So when he put it, it made a sound, chit chit chit. It like the gas was the smoke was coming out. Smoke was coming out and it was making some sound. So it was chit chitai, the chit chitai. Is that chit chit chit? It was making such a sound. So that sound is recorded in the Tipitaka. Chit chitai, chit chitai, sandhupayati, sampadhupayati. So this in this way, akula pakula is also just a sound which has no meaning. So he just made the sound akula and pakula. So then he also mentioned esote samana pisacho. He uttered the word esote samana pisacho. So this sentence is, you can see there is no verb in this sentence. right? Esote samana pisachoti. So the commentary explains how to understand this sentence. The commentary is page number 62 for Udāna Pāļi. So if I write it here, the commentary explanation says, Ambo samana. Ambo and samana are all locative cases. Vocative case. Vocative. Tava pisitano. Pisitasano. Pisacho. Pattito. This is what he wanted to say. Ambo samana, tava pisitasano, pisacho pattito. So here samana you can see. Ambo is just another additional word for the vocative case. Ambo samana. Esote samana pisachoti. So he was, eso is that, or you can say this. So he was referring to himself, the yakka himself. So here is so he was referring to himself here. Here is a pisacha. Pisacha is a demon or one kind of a goblin, right? Pisacha. So if you look at the commentary, Ambo samana, tava pisitasano pisacho upattito. Upattito is has come close, have come about. So have come close to you, have come about you. So he has a pisacha has approached you. That's what he want to mention, right? So pisitasano pisacho means the pisitasana is it explains the meaning of the pisacha. Pisitasana is an explanation of the pisacha. Pisitasana is an explanation of the pisacha. So here pisita means is equivalent to mansa. Mansa is flesh. This is commentary explanation. This is how sometimes the commentaries, reading commentaries can be a little bit difficult because it doesn't explain anything. It just gives, look at the word pisitasano pisacho. It just gives the pisitasano pisacho. I will just make it like this. So pisitasano pisacho. So pisitasano pisacho is the word given in the commentary. So we should know that pisitasano is the word, definition of pisacha. What is this meaning? Pisita asana. Pisita plus asana. Asana is eating, right? Asana, asati. Asati is to eat. Asana is eating. So, and also asana, we can say one who eats. Pisita asana. Gacchana, pisita asana, right? Ana. But here is asana, it refers to the eating, one who eats. It's better not to say as a present participle because it's the ana suffix especially. Here it's better to say the one who eats, right? The pisita asana, or maybe it can be asana. I'm not very sure about that. Sorry for that. It should be asana or asana. So one who eats the flesh. Right? Pisitasano, pisacho, one who eats. So the one who eats the flesh is a pisacha. So pisacha, a goblin or a demon who eats the flesh, has upattito, come about you, have approached you, have come about. So this is how the commentary explains this sentence, this entire sentence. This is the commentarial explanations I have given. So in the Pāļi, that appears as esote samana pisacho. So when we say approaching someone, coming about to someone, so the one whom we approach, the one whom we go close to is written in dative case. So that's why the commentary explains te as tava. Te as tava. So a pisacha, a goblin or a demon who eats the flesh has approached you, has come about you, has come about you. Grammatically, te is in dative case. Te is in dative case. So this is what happened. So the Yakka, the story goes as in the beginning, the Yakka was making lots of fearful acts to scare the Buddha. Buddha was not afraid at all. Then seeing that the Yakka was very angry because the Buddha was sitting inside his mansion without and sat in the open space. So then the Yakka thought, he had an idea, his mansion is a very stable place. Stable place means it's a place where beings can be, it's a safe place to the beings who live there. It means no one can harm anyone in that mansion. So he thought like that. The Yakka had such a feeling. So he thought, all the efforts I made while the Buddha was inside, it didn't affect him. It's not because of Buddha's ability, it's because the place was a safe sanctuary for any being. So when the Buddha came out, the Yakka thought, at this place, I will be able to scare him. So he came and uttered these words, Akula Pakula, very loudly. And he also mentioned, this is a demon has approached you, who is going to eat your flesh. He wants to scare the Buddha. So seeing this, Atako Bhagava etamattang viditva etang attang etamattang, knowing this meaning. So here meaning means in this incident, what is that? The Buddha's, the Yakka's efforts all the efforts he did to scare the Buddha, and also the qualities that he had within himself. So knowing all this, he uttered this utterance at that time. So then it goes the explanation. Before, I think we'll go to the text of the next sutta. I'll leave the gathas purposefully, and I'll be explaining them separately after we have done few more suttas. I'll be covering all the gathas I have skipped. Yeah, this is the explanation on this sutta. If you have any questions, you can raise.
Bhante?
Yes, Mr.
Bhante, I would like to ask, so the Akula Pakulikang, we can simply translate it like sound, Bhante? So he made sound.
He made the sound Akula Pakula.
Oh,
yeah,
so
Akula Pakulikang Akasi means, sorry for that. Akula Pakulikang Akasi, I couldn't explain it. He made such a sound. Akulo Pakuloti Akula Pakulikang Akasi. We have to take it as one meaning. He made the sound Akula Pakula.
Okay, Bhante. So like the Akula Pakulika is like, it doesn't have its own meaning like that, Bhante. So it's just sound.
No. Just the sound. Just the sound.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Ika suffix is given to, I think, to make it proper for the easiness. But otherwise, there is no specific meaning.
Okay, Bhante. Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante, just like a crow call gaga gaga, right?
Sorry. Yes.
Gaga
like
gaga. It's just
the gaga. Yeah, it has no meaning. Just a sound. Yeah.
Bhante, I have one more question, Bhante. So like the Ratha Andakara Timisayang, Bhante. So like Andakara and Timisa are both referring to darkness, Bhante.
Yes.
So when we translate it, do we need to translate those two words like that, or can we simply say darkness
just
of night?
a very dark. Yes, darkness of night. But since the two words are given, normally Andakara Timisa comes together most of the times. But there is a grammatical rule in Pali. When you repeat the two words, with a similar meaning, it intensifies the meaning of the word. It enhances, it increases the meaning of the word. So Andakara Timisayang is explained as very Bahala Andakara. Bahala Andakara means very dark, deep darkness. In which you cannot see, you can see nothing. So this is also I would call, we can call it a certain rule in Pali. when we say repetition of words, repeating same or similar words makes the intensifies the meaning. So this show, for example, momuha, right? Momuha. This in this momuha, the root is muh. This can be seen in it's a root, right? So it changes into momu. I'm not going to explain this grammatical reduplication. So it becomes muh, mumu, right? Mumu, and this become. So this shows the highly moha is to get deluded, delusion. Highly deluded. It means strong moha. So the moha chittas, for instead of saying moha mula, for example, you know that there are two chittas, moha mula chittas, right? We say it moha chittas. Moha mula means the chitta which is rooted in moha only. So that chitta has more strong delusion than lobha mula chitta and dosa mula chitta. So when we repeat the word, repeating means it can be reduplication. And sometimes when you repeat the two words, it intensifies the meaning and says that it was increases the meaning of the word. So I'm not in a state to say that this is this meaning, but because andhakara timisa in sometimes it comes together. Maybe it's a way of saying, but anyway, we don't need to translate both the words, but it says that it was a very deep darkness.
Okay, Bhante. Thank you so much, Bhante.
But I ask about the vocabulary.
Yes.
The bhavane, the mention, it's a visible mention or it's invisible mention for yakha up in the sky.
I think it was invisible for the other beings.
Oh, so it's
So.
invisible.
It's not mentioned clearly.
Oh.
Yes, it should have been invisible.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not mentioned.
Okay. And another is the ekamekang, about the rain. Ekamekang means each or one by one. It means the rain is small and each drop one by one, like that. Devoja ekamekang.
Normally when rain falls, you cannot differentiate. It's like ekamekam society gives the meaning that drops were falling one by one. It means it was a drizzling. It was not a heavy rain. It's a gentle rain. That's what it means.
Yeah, so I think like gentle rain is like the drop one by one, can hear the one drop after another drop, like that.
Yes. Meaning is like, but make it more practical. Like it was like only few rains drops of falling. It was not that just one by one. Like everywhere the drops are falling, but not very dense.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And the last is the Champitatang Lomahansang. Champitatang means great fear, right?
I beg your pardon?
Champitatang, you said it means out of fear. Out of fear means no fear at all or a lot of fear.
No. Lots of no. I mean, Chambitatang and Lomahansang happens out of fear. I mean, these are two physical changes. It happen in the body. Bayang is a mental quality. When fear arises, Chambitatta occurs. Chambitatta means the stiffness of the. It's out of fear means it comes because of fear. Lomahansa is because of fear.
Lomahansa means goosebumps, right? In the Dajjaka
Yes,
Sutta,
goosebumps.
same meaning, goosebumps, right?
Yeah. Hair is getting straight. At the same time, you get the goosebumps.
Yeah, that's I want to ask because I saw the translation was the hair is stand up, is straight, but here you write the goosebumps. Maybe the two happens together.
Together, that's right. In English, we normally have a one word, goosebumps, but actually the technical meaning is the hair stands straight. That's what Lomahansa means.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But English word shows about that bumps that happens when it's something that happens in the skin. So it's not a very proper direct translation because goosebumps says about some different something happens in the skin. Lomahansa says about what happens to the hair. But since both happens together, we sometimes use this translation.
Yeah, because in Chinese we have the goosebumps, one Chinese word, and we have another word. It's like your hair becomes straight. And before I saw the translation in Dajjaka Sutta, the translation is your body hair becomes straight like that.
Yeah, that is the better translation.
Okay, thank you.
Direct translation.
Okay, thank you very much.
Shall we proceed to the next sutta, the Jatila Sutta? Anyone volunteer to translate, or shall I tell a name? I think Sister Dupam. Can you translate? Sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrongly. Dupam. Okay, stop this. How about Sister Indri? Can you translate this paragraph? Is it possible? Dupam. Okay, thank you. Can you please translate the first paragraph? Oh, seems no one willing to translate. Oh, yeah. Please speak out. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I can.
Yeah. Please, brother. Please translate. Yes.
Jatila Suttam. Evam me Suttam ekang samayang bhagava gayang viharati gayasi se tenako pana samayena sambahula jatila sitasu hemantika su ratisu antara athake hema patta samaye gayang umujjantimpi gayayang umujjatimpi umujjantipi mujjampi karonti osinchantipi aggingpi juhanti imena sudditi. Evang me sutang, thus I have heard, ekang samayang bhagava gayang viharati gaya sise. Gayayang viharati gaya sise. Once time the Blessed One was dwelling near Gaya at the Gayasisa. At the Gayasisa. Tenako panasamayena. At that time, Sambahula Jatila many matted hair ascetic. Sitasu hemantikasu ratisu. In the cold winter, in the cold winter at night, antara atthake himapata samaye gayayang umujjatingpi nimujjatingpi antara atthake. Within the 8 day at the time of snowfall in the Gaya, they emerge and plunk. Umujjani nimujjani karonti. Emerge, they emerge and plunk and osinchanti pi and sprinkle and aging pi imana suddati.
The translation. Yeah, this is a Jatila Sutta. Buddha was living in Gaya, a village called Gaya, and he saw one time during a winter season, some ascetics were trying to get purification by plunging and taking bath in the river, in a river, right? In a certain river. In a river called Ganga, the river Ganges. So, evam me sutang, in one, thus I have heard, ekan samayam bhagava, Gaya and Dihri, Gaya Sise. So, Venerable Bhante translated very well. He's close to the Gaya village. Actually, it was a village. Gaya Sisa here means a one kind of a mountain, a rock. So, this was called the Gaya Sisa. It was looking like similar to the head of an elephant. So, because the elephant is called Hatti or Naga and Gaja in Pāļi. Gaja Sisa. I think Gaja Sisa had become Gaya Sisa. So a mountain similar, looking like Gaja Sisa. Looks like resembling to Gaja Sisa. A mountain like Gaja Sisa. Gaja Sisa means the head of an elephant. So in that mountain top, there was space for 100 monks, 1,000 monks. 1,000 monks. The Buddha was sitting there with monks in the top of the mountain. It was near the village Gaya. At that time, Sambahula Jatila, many Jatilas, the matted hair ascetics, who used to wear that cloth around their head, on their head. Sitasu hemantikasu rattisu. Sitasu means, Sita here means cold. Hemantikasu means belonging to the winter season. Hemanta is winter. We have 3 types of seasons. Hemanta, Gimha, Vasana. According to Pāļi, we have 3 types of seasons. In India, in ancient India, the seasons were called Hemanta. Hemanta is the winter. Gimhana is the summer. Vasana is the rainy season. And also these 3 seasons had sub-seasons. So sometimes in our tradition literature, the seasons are explained as to be 6. So these seasons are also divided into 2. But mainly there are 3 seasons. So they were Hemanta. Hemanta is the winter. Hemantika, belonging to the winter. It can be a day, it can be a month, it can be a week. Gimha is Gimhika. Vasana we translate Vasika. And belonging to the rainy season, or belonging or related, also we can say. Related. Belonging or related. that's why sometimes we have a robe called Vasika Satika, Vasika Chivara, Vasika Satika, a robe worn during the rainy season. Yeah, worn. Past participle of wear is correct if I'm wrong. And also Vasika Chivara. We have Vasika Satika, Vasika Chivara. So this is related to the rainy season. So specifically, these are the words connected to the seasons. So here Hemantika. We have Hemantika Suratisu. So nights relate belonging to the winter season. So it means nights of the winter season. That's what it means. It means since it was the winter, they were cold nights. So that's why Sitasu, Hemantikasu, Sitasu, Hemantikasu, Rattisu. In nights, cold nights belong to the winter season. Antarattake. Antarattake means here translate Antara. Attaka. So within 8 days. So therefore, maybe there were special 8 days that ascetics used to. There were 8 days. During these 8 days, there was snow 8 days during which the snow falls. So that's why in the next word it explains Himapata Samaye. Hima means snow. Hima is snow. Pata means falling. Falling, snowfall. Right. Samaya is the time. Is the time where the of a snowfall. So during these 8 days, normally it snows in India. So they were during these cold nights of snowfall. Gayaya, right? It says Gayaya. Sorry, it was not the river Gang. Sorry for that. It was a river in the Gaya village. Sorry for that. It was not the Gangs. Explains. It was one kind of a river which was going near the village Gaya. Gaya yang Nimujjanti Umujjanti. There was a Titta. Titta means a place where you can enter to the river. That was like a harbor. How do you call it? Where you can go descend to the water and come up from the water. So in that place, they were Umujjantipi, Nimujjantipi. Umujjantipi, Nimujjantipi means Umujja means they were coming out of water. Having gone and plunged into the water, they were coming up. Nimujjantipi means they were going in. And also Umujja Nimujjampi Karanti. So the commentary states why that this is repeated. Because some ascetics thought Umujja just coming up, going in, while coming up, you get the purification. Some ascetics thought when you are going inside the water, you get the purification. Some thought going up and down, you get the purification. That's why Nimujjantipi, Umujjantipi, Nimujja, Umujjampi, Karanti. This is explained. So here, I'm going to explain a very important grammatical rule today regarding the abstract nouns. So you keep in mind Nimujjantipi, Umujjantipi, Nimujja, Umujjan, Karanti. I'll copy paste this. So this comes to the explanation about the abstract nouns. Abstract nouns, what I mean is the verbal nouns. Right? We can also call them abstract nouns. There are two types of abstract nouns. Abstract nouns of the Taddhita, abstract nouns of the Kitaka. So we are talking about Kitaka abstract nouns. Right? Kitaka abstract nouns. In Taddhita secondary derivation also we have some abstract nouns. We are not going to talk about this. So this is the word Umujjantipi, Nimujjantipi, Umujja, Nimujjampi, Karanti. So Umujjantipi, normally we translate this Umujjantipi means Umujja is coming up out of water. Nimujja is you go into the water, plunge into the water. So emerging from water or plunging into the water. Nimujjati is you plunge in, and umujjati is you emerge out from the water. So the next sentence also okay, nimbujja umujjampi karonti. So now what I want to explain is, now this umujjati is a verb. I'll be explaining this grammatical point few times in few lectures. Umujjati is a word. Nimujjati is also a word. This nimujjati sometimes, even though it's a it comes from ud plus muj plus a plus t. So here we normally, yeah, we go it. This is umujjati. This umujjati sometimes can be changed into umujja. This is an abstract noun. So this nimujjati says he emerges from the water, to emerge. Umujja is emerging. It's an ing form, like we talked about last time. Going is gamana is going. So here umujja is coming out. So here we make it, this construction is ud plus muj there is no t. This is not a verbal noun. And also this abstract noun, there is abstract umujjana, another abstract noun. Here, the same formation, but only we put ana, umujjana, right? Umujjana. So umujjati is to emerge. This is emerging. This is also emerging from water, right? So this is the difference. So these are called abstract nouns. These are called abstract nouns. This is the first one is a verb. So thing is, now if you look into the sentence, umujjantipi, nimujjantipi, umujja nimujjampi karanti. So the same way, instead of umujjati, we can always also have the same construction for nimujjati, right? Only is nimujjati. The change is any. On these places, we change the ud into the ni suffix. It is plunging. Plunging, right? So this is called, now these are, I think you can see the difference. So the umujjati is a verb, nimujja, umujja, nimujjana, umujjana are called abstract nouns. Now look, if you look at the sentence, you can see nimujjantipi, so p is also, it's an indeclinable, right? So here also, nimujjang api. Umujja, nimujjang api karoti. This is the grammatical formation. So here we can see at the end of the abstract nouns, we see a karonti word. So what I want to say is, now when we say nimujjati, to emerge, this is equal to nimujjang karoti. So what does it mean? He does the plunging. So nimujja is plunging. So instead of saying nimujjati, you can also equal to that. So in the same way, umujjati is equal to umujjang karoti. You can say nimujjanang karoti also, it's correct. Instead of nimujjati, you say nimujjanang karoti or umujjati, umujjanang karoti. So all the nouns, all the verbs, sorry for that, all the verbs have a, we can construct all the verbs having connected to the root kar and root bu. Why bu is there? Bu is there to exist. I'll explain this later in a different lesson when we go further. This is just an introduction to these abstract nouns. So when we talk about any verb, any root, three roots are inserted. The sakatta root means the root, the meaning of the root itself. For example, if we take the root pach, this grammar in advanced grammar, pach is to cook. So here we have three meanings. Cooking, the meaning of cooking is there. Meaning of existing is, existing means happening. A happening of this action. Then also we have the meaning of doing. So cooking, so these existing meaning comes from the root bhu or hu. Then doing meaning comes from the root kar. So any root, when we are putting into a verb, you can construct it with bu, with the connection of bu and with the connection of kar. So how to make it a bu and kar, I'll explain it in later lesson. So just to keep in mind. So instead of saying that he emerges or he plunges, we can also say he does emerging and he does plunging. That is what I want to say. So connecting, when you you take the verb only, or you take the abstract noun and connect it with doing, so it gives the same meaning. So if we look into the Udāna Pāļi, we can see Udāna Pāļi. During the winter season, 8 days of snowfall in the river Ganges, they were emerging from water, ummujjantipi. They were plunging into the water, nimujjantipi. Nimujjampi karonti. They were doing, emerging and plunging in. Osincintantipi, they were sprinkling water, agimpi juhanti, they were putting, sacrificing things to the fire, like sacrificial things. Imina suddhiti, thinking that we get purification by these acts. Right, this is the point. So I'll just translate the next paragraph because the time has elapsed. Addasako bhagavate sambahule jatile sitasu hemantika surattisu antarattaki himapata samaye gayayang ummujjantepi nimujjantepi immujja nimujjampi karonte. So here you can see it's different. So umujjantipi is a, janti is a verb, nimujjanti is a verb. Here it has become a present participle. It's not a verb, right? Here it's a nimujjante, not nimujjati. It's nimujjante, umujjante, nimujja umujjampi karonte. Instead of karoti, karonte, it becomes karonte. So these are past present participles, not the verbs. So the person in the first sentence, first paragraph, the previous paragraph, they were doing the acts. So then the next paragraph, the Addasako Bhagava, Buddha saw them, them. Any matted hair ascetics, Sita Suratti Su, Antarattake Himapata Samaye. So during the during the very cold nights, in the 8 days of snowfall, in the Gaya, in the river, in the bank of the river, they were who were emerging plunging in, and who were doing emerging and plunging. So the ones who did the act have become the object of the Buddha's seeing. So we cannot just write them in the verbal form, because verb is directly connected to the subject in the active voice or with the object in the passive voice. Always even in active or passive voice, the action is done by the subject, right? The action is done by the subject. So here, what happens, this active voice sentence, and then the ascetics became the object of the Buddha's seeing. So we cannot use the verb for them. So instead of using the verb, we have changed it into the present participle. Who were doing, who were emerging, who were plunging in, and who were doing the emerging and plunging. And also you can see Osin Chantepi, here it's a verb, here it became a present part. Osin Chantepi. Osin Chantepi. Agimpi Juhante. Instead of Juhanti, it has become Juhante. Imina Suddhi. So this is another point that we want to, because the time has passed, maybe in the next lecture you can have some, if you have unique classifications, we can start with this point in the next lecture. So this is the points that I want to emphasize. Then the Buddha, seeing this incident, uttered the utterance. Yeah, so the points that here we want to emphasize is the abstract noun and the verb. A verb can be written with an abstract noun connected with karoti, and also with hoti. Then you can have the question how the formation is. I'll explain it later how to make a verb, because verb connected with hoti and verb connected with karoti. So then all the roots in Pāli have the meaning of its own root, meaning of its own. For example, the cooking. And also it is embodied with the meaning of the bhu, the existing or happening meaning, and doing, the karoti, the action, the meaning of doing the act. So then in the next paragraph, we have to understand the actors, the subject of the previous paragraph has become the object. So their acts cannot be written in verbal form. Instead, we have to use the participle forms. Since we are using the we are explaining that Buddha saw them while they were doing, we have used the present participle form. So another thing is when it's different from English. When we say a past, when he's continuous form, but here we use the present participle form in the while he was doing. So it's another thing. This is a present participle, but indicates that they were doing that act while the Buddha was watching them. Yeah, this is the point that I want to discuss. If you have any questions, please raise.
Bhante, may I ask questions, Bhante?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So the umuja and the umujana is like action noun, Bhante.
Yes.
Is there any difference between two of them, Bhante? Umuja and umujana?
No, they are the same. They are the same.
Okay, Bhante. So the meaning is like the act of, for example, emerging, like, right?
Yeah, the act of plunging.
Okay, Bhante. And then about the during the 8 days, Bhante. So does that mean that the snow falling during 8 days, or they are doing this act for 8 days, Bhante?
No, that snow, the commentary says the snow was falling during the 8 days. So those 8 days, they are supposed to do this. I think it says that these are the 8 days of the snow was falling. These are the 8 days. 4 days in 1 month, in last 4 days of 1 month, and the beginning 4 days of another month. Himassa patana kali. Atta divasassa pravane himatta patana kali. So during that time, the snow was falling. Maybe they were doing it's not very clear. It says this, the commentary says during these 8 days when the snow was falling. It can be either the snow was falling during the 8 days, or the snow was falling generally. They were doing this act in 8 days. Both are possible. Both the meanings are possible. It means snow was falling during a long period, and they were doing within these specific 8 days, or maybe the snow was falling within these 8 days. I think that the first meaning is much better. Feels like better because snow doesn't fall only during 8 days, right?
Oh, okay, Bhante. Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. Okay, so shall we call it a day then?
Thank you so much, Bhante.
Wish you all the best. Thank you for participating.
Thank you, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu.